Take a breath. Feel your heart. Awaken to your heart. Today is Tarot Tuesday, but I just wanted to start out with kind of like an overall check-in with yourself and tell you a little bit about what's been happening with me. I've been I was waiting kind of for this guidance to come in, but I had to start moving towards where the only place where I knew to go, which was the spiritual life coaching. But I went away for the weekend with my boyfriend and got some like clarity on that. And I'm working on my website with somebody now, and I'm going to be doing sovereignty coaching, which is basically teaching you how to self-govern. As you can see, we rely a lot on the governance of our countries, and you can see how unstable that is. So what we need to do is go within and learn to self-govern before we do anything else, and begin to be able to rely on ourselves. Not that we don't rely on each other and we don't have like a need for each other, because that's actually part of self-governance, is we learn how to work with the different parts of ourselves, and it also teaches us how to work with other people. So just to do a little exercise with that, just close your eyes and what's coming up for you now? What part of you wants to tell you something? So I've been feeling this rushy part. It's like, we gotta do stuff, we gotta do stuff. And then this other part that's like, let's calm down and just be in the present moment. I'm just giving you an example. And so in order to make peace with these parts of yourself, you have to be able to listen to them and not push any of them down. So Richard Schwartz developed the model for internal family systems, which really is another model that kind of developed out of all these other models and is very similar to Gestalt therapy. But he basically said that we all have like multiple personalities, and the therapy is about learning how to listen to them, work with them, and integrate them under your higher self. So bringing your higher self presence to all of these different parts and being curious, being compassionate. There's different parts of the model, but basically that's what you want to do. So kind of when you go in now, just like, you want to attend to the parts of you that come up, and they come up at different times. So whatever part of you is coming up, just acknowledge it. I hear you, rushy part, and you have great ideas, and I'm really excited about your ideas, and I want to implement them, and I'm going to try to find ways to write them down so that we can remember them and integrate them. I hear you, and we are going to incorporate your ideas throughout our work. We have a place. This part of me is afraid that it doesn't have a space in the world, that there's not enough room for me, and that I have to do something, otherwise somebody else is going to take my place. So just acknowledging that, like, nobody can take my place. There's only one place for me, and that's right here. So acknowledging, validating that part of yourself and caring for it. What does it need to be cared for? That's my ABC model. Acknowledge, validate, care for. And as you do that, those parts settle back. They're like little children having temper tantrums. If you don't listen to them, they're going to get louder and louder and have a temper tantrum. So you just acknowledge it, validate it, and care for it. And then it relaxes and settles back into you. And then maybe another part of you comes up. Okay, so I just wanted to introduce that as part of what I'm going to be doing as part of the sovereignty coaching, learning to self-govern, and reasons why you might be feeling like you want to do that, and things that were happening to me. I was starting to get really irritated and annoyed by people in my life, for all kinds of reasons, but basically it was because I wasn't happy with my little small place in the world, and I wanted a bigger place. I wanted to do greater things, and I wanted to be freer. So those were the things that were coming up in me when I started to be able to do this. And when I got my divorce, what I've been working through now is really kind of owning and taking back all those parts of myself that I projected onto my ex, because they're all parts that I have within me too. And so when I listen to them and understand them, and they give me the message they need to give me, then they relax back into me and integrate, and they don't take over me and control me and take the wheel. Because you want your higher self to be taking the wheel. That's part of sovereignty and self-governing. So that's just a little sample of how I work with people. And also that brings me to the tarot, because I also like to work with tarot in integrating parts of people. Tarot is a really fun way to look at different parts of yourself, and because the tarot has all the different archetypes. So you can see what's coming up for you and what you might be having a hard time integrating. And it really just helps you to integrate all those different parts of yourself. So we're going to be doing the Light Seers Tarot today. And I like this one because it's not scary to me. It has a light side and a shadow side, and it doesn't scare me. Like some of the tarot card decks are a little bit scarier. But this one is really easy to work with and doesn't scare me. And I scare easy, so if you're one of those people that scares easy too, you might like that deck. Okay, so we're going to start with the Divine Beloved, because it's kind of like sets a prayer or an intention. The other part of my work is going to be learning to co-create with spirit or your spiritual life partners. Like I'm co-creating with my boyfriend right now. He's my spiritual life partner. And so learning how to do that. And part of that is setting an intention. And then you let that intention go, because you don't know what's going to come from it, and you can't control that. And when you try to do that, and we got two cards that are coming out. Ooh, this is so great. This is so in alignment with astrology right now. So I'm just loving that. Because the astrology of the moment is letting go of burdens, and we just got burdens. Okay, and the Elephant. I accept your help. So this is setting an intention, and it's like a prayer. Change me, Divine Beloved, into one who gratefully receives all help you send. Let me release the useless idea that I must carry the burden alone. Let me trust that you send the right assistance. May I feel worthy and accept it. Okay, so when I got my divorce and I was buying my house, I bought like a fixer-upper. And I was like, wow, I think it will be a great way for me to work on healing all these parts of myself. And I also had seen somebody helping me. And I wanted to do it alone. I wanted to know that I could do it alone in my power. But when my boyfriend came along and said he would help me and we could do it together, I accepted that help and we worked on it together. And he also had some burdens and heaviness that he was carrying and needed to be, like, I think it was helpful for him to be able to repair and do this too. So we've been doing it together. So when you get hurt, like I've gotten hurt, it's important to not close your heart off and get defensive and fight. It's important to be able to keep your heart open even through that hurt and betrayal. Because when you can keep your heart open, you receive all these gifts from the universe and all this support and all this help and all this guidance. And that's what's supposed to happen. And oh my God, the next one too is trust. This is so in alignment with what is going on in the astrology and what I'm working on and focusing on in becoming a sovereignty coach. I trust the highest way. Change me, divine beloved, into one who wants what you want for me. In A Course in Miracles, it talks about how God wants what you want in terms of happiness, but you don't really know what you want because you think it's all these material things and these specific things. And what God teaches you is that it's the essence of these things that what you're looking for. Like, I really wanted a Jeep, and I was like really focused on my Jeep. And then I got this like insight to, what is it that the Jeep symbolizes for you? And it was freedom. So it's really the essence of these things. Let me trust that my needs will always be met in the highest way when I allow you to guide me. So surrendering to that higher power, which is your higher self, which is connected to everything. And that you are being held and guided. It's true, I have experienced this, and I'm sure you have in many ways too. Okay, so we're going to leave those two intentions at the top, trust and burdens. So it's, I trust the highest way, and I surrender to your will. God, I accept your help. Okay. And then I want to get something from the Inner Temple Oracle. By Rebecca Campbell and artwork by Katie Louise. Okay, what is that one? Okay. That one just was like an instruction card. And everybody does tarot differently, the way they do things. Like some people divide the deck, and it's really an intuitive thing that you feel. I like, there's way too many cards here. Lately I've been liking when things jump out at me. I like to do it that way. I don't want to really get too many of these, so okay. Ooh. So we got Destiny Life and Fated Life, and Destiny Life is upright, so that's a really good sign. Our Destiny Life is coming in, and I don't know, you probably have heard it's the 1111 portal, so maybe there's something to that. Chamber of Healing and Unhookable. So let's see what these cards have to tell us. There's three more. Maybe we should just take these. Ooh. Chamber of Innocence. We're going to take them. The Burning Rose. Wait, I want to show you that one. Because a lot of times pictures speak to your heart. This morning I saw an 1111 symbol that somebody had done, and I felt it in my heart. And create some space. Okay. So we got the Destiny Life and the Fated Life one first. That's the polarities, I believe, yes. I love working with polarities. It's something that I've always loved. Okay, destiny life, fated life. The destiny life, the soul path, the dream of your soul. Trusting the call within, trust. Life, purpose, courage will be rewarded. Listening to yourself, daring and passionate. What is true for you? And you know, if you've been watching my videos, this is what I talk about. What is true for you? What is your truth? Fated life, the safe option, doing the right thing, doing the expected thing, the external influences, listening to the opinions of others, what other people want. I was talking to a client the other day, and I was talking about, she was struggling a little bit with the outside voices versus what her inside voices were telling her. And I said to her, like, those people that you're listening to haven't gone as far as you have on your path. Like you are really learning to listen to and self-govern. They're not in the same place as you. And so I would say that to you too, probably. Are the people that you're listening to, have they gone as far as you have on your path of truth? Where are you on your path, and where are they? Which part of the card is right side up? Which meaning is calling to you the most? How can you bring both parts' meanings into balance? So that's like listening to those outside voices versus your inner voice. This is a really good card for right now. The fated life is the expected life, the one that's most likely and the one you'll live if external circumstances direct you. But if you can see, like, external circumstances, there's a lot of chaos out there right now. So I think this is such a great time to go in, because, and I think that's why, like, all of this chaos is out there on the outside, if there's a why, because it's just saying, you know, go in. And even, like, I had this thought the other day too about, like, I see all these dogs that are up for, like, people are abandoning, and I'm like, what is going on with this? And if you look at those dogs, they're like helpless and they need someone to care for them. They're like our inner child. We've abandoned our inner child, and it's a message to go in and take care of that inner child. Okay, it's one you'll live if you believe what society, the people, and the systems say you are, and if you do what they say you should do. The fated life is the safe life, but is it anymore, really? But in living it, you may find that there's music still in you that longs to be expressed, or a feeling of, is this all there is? Yes, that's what I was trying to capture at the beginning of, like, when I was starting my path towards my own self-governance, like, and that feeling that, like, wanting more freedom. Is this all there is? Like, just wanting to expand and be bigger. So if you're feeling that, this is, you're right where you need to be. The destiny life is the life that the soul dreams of. It requires listening to and trusting the wild and daring call within. It was daring to do what I did, to get a divorce after 25 years of marriage and to listen to that voice within. But it was such, I was talking to my boyfriend about that this morning. It was such a powerful feeling. I could have been, like, more fearful, and at night I would feel fearful, but for the most part, I just felt strong and powerful in what I was doing. Yes, scared, because it was scary what I took on, but more than that, I felt my power and my strength. And you will too, if you choose this path. It takes great courage to live the destiny life, for it requires that you trust yourself above all else. It requires you to truly live. And yes, I am truly living. I'm truly living, and I'm so happy. That was another thing that happened to me over my vacation weekend. I just felt so happy with the life that I chose. And, like, I finally am here, present in the moment, fully present, and just embodying myself. My spirit is embodied. With courage come reward and fulfillment. The destiny life is the one you live when you choose to live consciously, to trust and follow the voice within, rather than heed the noise and the influences outside you. At some point, you just get to, like, a exasperation with all that, and you're just like, it feels almost like you have no choice but to go within and listen to that voice. You have a decision to make. Do you choose the fated life or the destiny life? Do you choose the safe option, so-called safe option, or the courageous one that makes you come alive? Okay. Chamber of Healing. Healing is always happening, for to heal is to change, and you're always changing, always returning to wholeness. Wholeness isn't a static state, as we're always growing and transforming. It's nature's way, and you're part of nature. When this card appears, it's acknowledging that you're in a deeper stage of healing, and it's okay to ask for help. I accept your help. And slow down to let healing happen. This card comes with a tender message to trust your innate ability to heal through the changing seasons of your life. To stop seeing yourself as broken, or to think of healing as something you need to do before you truly live. I think that's kind of how I thought too, but what I'm realizing is that it's all just going to happen. And if the more I step into myself and embody myself, or my spirit is embodied by this body, the more my spirit comes in, and the more of me that is operating in this present moment, the better my choices, you know. And it's all going to happen anyway. We have to make mistakes. It's part of the process. I kept trying to be up here thinking and analyzing and what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. And I wouldn't come down into myself because I wanted to make sure it was safe. And as you learn to trust yourself, you realize it is safe. You're still going to make mistakes, but that's just feedback for you. You know, you set an intention. You remain open and receptive. You look at the signs and what life's telling you, and then you take inspired action. And then that action informs you about how you need to move. And it's just a process of doing that. Healing can be a slow, steady process. It's complex, not linear. It takes as long as it takes. I think it takes forever, your whole life. However, like all things in nature, there's a mysterious intelligence to it, and if we trust it and let the once vibrant petals fall to the earth, cut back what's no longer thriving, and protect the buds from being pried open too early, we too may find ourselves in a second bloom, and fruit will follow. If you didn't see yourself as unhealed or broken, what would you do? If you didn't see yourself as unhealed or broken, how would you live your life? If you didn't see yourself as unhealed or broken, what decisions would you make? How are you being called to prioritize your healing? What healing are you ready to receive right now? What support are you ready to call in? Ask your heart, your mind, and your body to reveal what's most helpful to you and call it in. If you want, just take a moment to do that. And if this is not a long enough time, you can always do that later. Okay, we're going to move on to Unhookable. This is the activation suit. Look at the progress you've made. You've arrived. Finally, healing and change are here. We know we've come a long way when those things that once triggered us no longer do. That person, that place, the old story, that family dynamic. If you're like me, you're thinking about maybe your Thanksgiving and being with family. I've been thinking about that. and setting an intention of how I want that to be and how I want to be and how I don't want to get triggered or react to things. So how I can be in my power and create the kind of create what I want, like co-create with spirit and co-create with my boyfriend and co-create with my family, the kind of Thanksgiving that we all want to have. After what feels like way too long, all of a sudden, what used to knock you off course or send you into a spin no longer does so. And it may be that it for the most part doesn't, but sometimes it does. It's just another little thing that you need to learn. So don't beat yourself up if you are still, like, if you're less reactive and less triggered, but there are still some things that get you. Don't beat yourself up. Look at your progress and how far you've come. Instead of spiraling and giving away your power, you find yourself standing steady, whole, and tall. The thing or person that once had power over you no longer does. That wounded part of you has finally healed. And I just wanted to share something that helped me to let go of a little bit of that, because I kept getting triggered by my ex in the co-parenting situations. And instead of, like, I would agonize over that and be like, how can I not be triggered? How can I, like, and instead of doing that, which seemed to be an old pattern that wasn't working, I said, okay, let me step into where I want to be, into the life that let me step into my new life, because my new life has like a higher perspective and a higher, and it doesn't seem to get caught up in the weeds all down there. So let me just step into this version of myself. And I think I'm going to get a higher perspective on things. And so far it's been working, but I'm not going to say that I won't get triggered again, because sometimes I get pulled back into that, or I feel pulled back into that. And I'm just going to try to stay in this place that I've created or co-created with spirit or my higher self. This card is a celebration of how far you've come and how much work you've done. It honors the path you've taken and the journey you've been on. To be unhookable means that you've healed that which once threw you off course. To be unhookable means to stand in your own power. That's sovereignty. To be unhookable means that you draw your strength from within. To be unhookable means that your roots are deep and your inner connection is strong. Congratulations, you've come such a long way. Honor and acknowledge the progress you've made. Celebrate the growth you've achieved. And the inner temple activation is, I honor my inner strength and authority. I draw my power from deep within. Okay. Chamber of Innocence. Okay. You're holy and whole. You're innocent and innately good. You never got kicked out of the garden. None of us did. You're wholly welcome here. If you feel as though you've done something wrong without knowing what it is, if you feel ashamed about hurting someone, or if you're finding it hard to be generous with yourself, it's time to release any shame, judgment, or bad feelings. Do what you need to do to let go and make amends. But don't forget that you're human, and as a human, you're here to learn and grow, and so is everyone else. So that was the thing that would take me out of my higher self. It was that guilt and feeling bad about something. You're going to make mistakes, and if you just keep continuing on the path and don't get pulled back into that guilt and, no, I made a mistake. Okay, that just is showing me where I need to alter my course a little bit. And go with that flow. You know, God, Jesus is all about forgiveness and love, and so are you, and so is your higher self. So you don't need to punish yourself. You don't need to feel guilty or bad about things. You can just take it as information. Be curious. You're a precious child of the earth, no matter your age. There's nothing wrong with you. There never was. Be gentle with yourself, and in turn, be gentle with others. The harder we are on ourselves, the harder we'll be on someone else. And the harder someone else is on others, the harder they are on themselves. This card comes with a message of tenderness, of gentleness, of self-forgiveness. Don't be so hard on yourself. Treat yourself like the innocent one that you are. That's the inner child. It's impossible to get it right all the time. Don't you remember that you came here to grow? You have a right to be here. You have a place here. And you don't need to prove your worth. You have goodness in you. You're an ever-changing work in progress. Grow and learn, but do it softly. When we know better, we can choose to do something new. This is what it means to be human. What does the innocent child within you want you to know? What does the innocent child within you want you to do? Lay down your sword. You have nothing left to prove. Okay, the burning rose. This is the soul inquiry suit, going a little bit deeper. The burning roll, ooh, I love it. The burning roll. The burning rose is the symbol of sacred rage. Sacred rage, yes, this is in the feminine right now. It's sacred rage, and I was just talking about this the other day. Of anger alchemized into something creative, into passion, not destruction. That's so funny. I was just talking to my boyfriend about this the other day. I said, we all have this fire within us, but we don't want to use it against each other. We want to use it for a greater cause. And I said to him, when I discovered that I am a sovereignty coach, that's what I am, that's what I'm meant to do here, I felt this fire in me of like, yes, that's my path. And I am going to take that path, and I'm going to let my fire be on this path. And so it's funny that we got this, because that is what's also happening in the feminine. The feminine is so enraged right now. We're so angry at what we had to endure. But if we take that rage and anger and we turn it against men and we turn it against other people, it's just going to create more of that rage and anger and destruction in the world. We can use it to tear down systems and build up other systems. Some of us are tearing down systems, or we're like, maybe, I don't know that I don't think that we're doing anything. Just be careful how you use that anger, because it can turn into violence and destruction, and we want to use it to build the new earth. We tend to see anger and rage as something we should avoid, as if expressing these emotions is to be avoided or even wrong, as if anger is something that should be controlled and restrained. Boys are taught that their anger is dangerous, and women that their rage isn't feminine. Women who have the courage to harness their anger are often accused of being crazy and unstable. But this stops the flow of passion and the ferocious urge of the feminine to protect what's sacred. We need this. We need this power. Anger or rage is often a reflection of what's important to us. And this is also about the sovereignty and learning to self-govern, learning to use this fire. I'm calling it fire. They're calling it anger. Sacred rage. They're calling it sacred rage. Anger or rage is often a reflection of what's important to us. You see what I'm saying? It can be a guiding light revealing what we most truly care for, long for, or wish to protect. It can also hold within it the codes of our true passion and purpose. I am so excited about this reading right now. But we must do the job of listening to our anger and offering it a safe space to be released and expressed. When we repress something, there's always a consequence. It might fester in the body and make us sick. A lot of us women have been getting sick. And even men, like, we all have the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine within us, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We all have that within us, and we need to be able to experience it, listen to it, acknowledge it, and give it its rightful place. It might it might fester in the body and make us sick. It might paralyze us and prevent us from living passionately, which is, I see what it's doing. That has been what it's doing. Or it might be expressed in ways that are physically, mentally, and emotionally harmful to others. Alchemizing anger in positive ways and using it to create rather than repress or negatively destroy is some of the holiest work there is. That is also something that I love. I love working with anger. And I've always loved working with anger. I had to do an anger management group once as a therapist, well, a couple times. And my anger management group turned into like a love fest. It was really awesome. What do you feel angry or frustrated about? Can you transform that anger into passion by changing your focus from what you're against to what you're for? That's what I'm talking about. Like, so stop going into the past, into what you're angry about from the past, and step into who you are and what you were meant to do here, and use that anger. That's your fire. It shows you what your gift to the world is. Okay, and oh wow, and create some space is right after that. So this is the last one from this deck. Create some space. Many mystical texts suggest that grace fills the spaces you're courageous enough to leave empty. How are you being called to make more space in your life? How can you create more room to breathe? How can you allow more space in your life? What would happen if you resisted the need to busy yourself or to be certain, and instead, just for a moment, stopped? This card is encouraging you to take it easy and rest in the unknown mystery that's waiting for you, to be silently pulled toward your becoming. That's where I have been. That's where I am right now. I've been called to create that space into become. And part of that is where I learned that I am a sovereignty coach. And I believe that there's more, because I also want to be an oracle for the feminine, the divine feminine, to speak through. I believe that's another part of my path, and that's coming in too. Because life has given me more space, and it's just a feeling. You'll know too. You'll know too as you follow your inner voice. And you maybe this is all resonating with you, and you do know, and you're just as excited as I am, and this is validating you and what you've been experiencing. We're all at different places on the path. And nobody's ahead of anybody else, because there's so many different things that are coming in from so many different directions. So we all have gifts that other people don't have, and we all have things to share. So I did another 2 videos. One was on being a teacher, how we're all teachers, and one was on how we're all learners. So it's making peace with the learner and the teacher within yourself, because we are both. Life is a co-creative journey, but in order for that creation to happen, we must enter into a collaborative relationship with the mystery of life itself. Maybe you've been in overdrive for a while. Maybe you prefer it when you're in control. Yeah, I wrestle with that. Or perhaps you've just been doing the same thing for some time and are feeling a little bored. How can you create more space in your life to both dream into the future and let life surprise you? What if by creating some space you were to find an unexpected blessing or the future fulfillment of a dream waiting for you there? All of life begins in the metaphoric and actual fertile void of the womb. When something ends, whether that be a relationship, a job, a TV show, or a conversation with a friend, many feel the need to fill the space with something else. But if we find a way to honor endings, to gather the courage to be in between what was and what will be, something incredible and new can be born. How are you being called to create more space in your life? Okay. So let's just make a little space right here. And then I want to do the Light Seers Tarot to just like get maybe some casting characters of who we're working with right now. What are the parts of ourselves that we are working with? These archetypes. Some of them may be like the major arcana in the tarot would be like archetypal energy. And the minor arcana in tarot would be like how that kind of manifests in the physical, like who some people in your life that you may be dealing with these energies with. So let's just see what comes up, and we can get to know these parts of ourselves and work with them better. Okay. So we got the Page of Wands. So that is learning and your new path and purpose on the path. And then the Six of Pentacles, which is giving and receiving. It goes with I receive your help, that initial thing that we said. So trust and burdens. We are carrying burdens and we do need help. I trust the highest way. I accept your help. Let me release the useless idea that I must carry this burden alone. Okay, so Page of Wands. I'm guessing that this is you and your inner child. You accessing that inner child and utilizing that energy. Wands are fire. That's a fire. The wands are fire. And so that's like passion and igniting in you. It's the beginning of that passion igniting you, of you knowing what you're here to do and learning how to actually do that. Because it is a learning process. You know, it is a learning process. Okay, I'm reading the Six of Pentacles first. This is the Six of Pentacles. Two-way abundance, giving and receiving. A positive and generous mindset. It's letting things flow through you. Inflow. Advancement, awakening, help coming from others. Wow, isn't it cool? Everything aligns. It's cool. I show gratitude for my life through generosity and compassion. Okay, so that's how you want to work with that energy is through gratitude. Gratitude, generosity, and compassion. Okay, let's do the Page of Wands. The suit, that's what I was trying to say. The Wands is the suit of fire. Okay, explosive creativity and infectious enthusiasm. Ideas aplenty, creative beginnings, a newly found inspiration. Honing a new skill or passion, curiosity, and trying new things. I just get so excited when everything comes together. Gifting yourself permission to dream. Oh my God, I was saying that too. And that was part of my coaching. It was that being able to dream. Because I shut down that part of myself in my marriage. I shut it down. It just was too painful to keep there. It just was getting buried. And it took me a while to bring that back online. I was telling my boyfriend, like, because he would say things to me like, we're going to do this, we're going to create this with this room. And I'd be like, I just can't see it. He's like, I know, maybe I'm just not describing it right. I'm like, it's not really you. It's just that part of me was so hurt and damaged that it's afraid to open up again. And it took me a long time to open that up, but it's open now. And I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of my future, but I'm also so present in the present. And I'm so in love with the present moment that I almost don't even want, I used to be such a dreamer and living in the future. And they say that creates a lot of anxiety, and living in the past creates a lot of depression. But in the present moment, I'm loving the present moment so much. Okay. Great energy for creative ideation and brainstorming, a youthful spark. As the dreamer of my dream, I spontaneously and passionately ignite this flame. This is such an exciting place to be. So I'm doing this reading on November 11th, 11/11. But whenever you find it, this reading is for you. Because, like I said, we're all in different places on our path. And so when you hear this message, then it's the message for you. If it resonates with you and excites you and you feel like, if you've gotten this far, then you must really like what I'm doing. And I'm grateful and appreciative of you being here with me. Okay, so I'm going to do the last card or cards is going to be from the Wisdom of the Oracle. I've been feeling a calling towards this one because I had been doing this for a while, and I had been getting a lot of the same cards for a while, and I haven't done it in a while, and I'm like, I wonder where I am now. I bet I'm in a different place. Oh, wow. Treasure Island. I had gotten this one before, but I wasn't quite feeling it, so I think now I'm feeling it. Treasure Island. Okay, and that's number 9. 9, my tarot, my favorite tarot card reader is Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you want, check him out. He says that 9s are like a constant motion. Like 9s are good because it means you're in flow. 10s are a culmination, but 9s are like flow. You're living in the flow. And it's true, when you really come into yourself and embody yourself, you are in the flow. You can tell when people aren't, because they talk about things themselves being a certain way, like static and non-moving. But when you are in the flow, you know that everything is moving all the time. And at first it's difficult it's a little bit scary to feel like everything's moving all the time. But if you think of yourself more as floating in one of those rivers where you have a tube and you're floating, that feels a little bit better. Okay, Treasure Island. The law of attraction, bringing dreams into fruition, the results of positive thinking made manifest, abundance appearing, as if from nowhere, financial gains and the sharing of good fortune. The Oracle's message: you've worked hard and acted upon your unwavering belief in abundance, and suddenly, in the midst of it all, you hit the jackpot. You have uncovered the map to buried treasure and tapped the unlimited potential within you. What you must hone now is your ability to recognize when X marks the spot. Because some of these golden opportunities may be obvious, but others may not be so readily apparent. I do find that they jump out at you, though, and you feel them differently. It feels like they're right here in front of you, like waving at you. Trust your intuition to light your way now as you enter this truly prosperous phase where all the long, hard work navigating your inner life is now paying off externally. In all aspects of your life at this time, you have good fortune. Don't forget to enjoy it and share it with others, as treasure shared multiplies like magic. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. Thank you for being with me on this journey. And if I share so much through my videos that will be helpful and guidance to you. But if you ever wanted to work with me, I am in the process of getting my website up, and it will be lisareneeaubin.com. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to get that up. And I'm also working on my office. Well, my boyfriend is working on my office for me. And I am imagining maybe sometime in December, possibly January, I will be having like a grand opening of everything. But it's possible that it will start in December. December is kind of a weird month for everyone because of the holidays and everything. So it's not a great time to start, but divine timing. Somewhere between December and January, in that divine time, All of this will happen. And if you want to work with me individually, I'll also be doing group things. I'll be doing some online and some in person. So be on the lookout for that. And I am very excited to be on this journey with you. Love and light. I love you.